Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger. So my friends, the Season 3 Dragon Ball FighterZ patch notes are indeed out right now. However, they are only out in Japanese. There will be official English patch notes coming, as per Bandai Namco, however, those are not coming out for 4 more days. So I am not the kind of person who likes to wait, and I'm sure you at home are not the kind of person who likes to wait either, so let's try to get through these patch notes as they currently stand. So we do have some partial translations, thanks to Ho-Chan and Great Fernman and other great people out there just translating away in the FGC. And so we're going to make use of that and make use of some Google Auto-Translate, and we will work through this together, my friends. Since we have patch notes, but not actual patch just yet, when the day comes, expect a video showcasing visually a lot of the big changes, but for now, let's go over what we know. So let's talk some of the system level stuff before we get to the character specific stuff. So for system level stuff, we have a new UI. I'm sure you've seen it in the lead up to Season 3 videos. We have the limit break mechanic, so when you're down to your last possible character, that last possible character will do more damage, which is exactly 10% as we have learned. You'll gain 1 extra meter when that last character comes onto the screen. And when you deal damage to the enemy, that damage will give them less blue health to recover unless you just hit them with a raw invincible move, because raw invincible moves, like a level 3 or a Wake Up Dragon Punch, always deal only blue damage. But otherwise, you give them less recoverable health to work with, so more damage, an extra bar, and a little bit less comeback for them. That is your new comeback mechanic, the Limit Break. So now for Rising Jump Attack, and this basically just is dealing with fuzzies. So various jumping attacks do not hit crouching state opponents while rising. So say if you want to go for a classic Bardock fuzzy here, something like this, that won't work anymore if the enemy down backs after the initial blocking in the instant air heavy, right? So that kind of stuff, fuzzies against tall characters is gone. When landing in the air from block stun, characters are now in a crouching state. Characters are now considered grounded right before landing, meaning stuff like the old snapback, mathematical timing, universal fuzzy, also completely dead. Fuzzies are dead across the board. The superiority / dominance gauge, that's what the little tug of war you can see in some of the new footage. So that'll be added, and it's just purely a how much health does each team have left kind of thing. Added 3 different assists per character. Hey, that's kind of a big deal, right? So we're all looking forward to that. Your basic key charge. So reduce recovery. So I guess you will recover from it a lot quicker than it stands, because, you know, you lose control of your character for a while once you hit this button, right? As we do know now, it reflects basic key blast, can be canceled into super dash with the heavy button mid charge. So you can do this and then immediately go into a super dash, which is very interesting. And even if the key gauge is full, the key charge will still go for a short duration. As it currently stands, once you hit 7 bars, like you're locked out. Like you can't hold it really anymore, other than the base animation. So I guess they're allowed to hold it a little bit longer. Vanishing, everyone's favorite. So as long as you have the quote-unquote cinematic vanish, which just means basically not the raw vanish, but like a vanish after combo, where it'll cause like that little camera change and you'll get that wall bounce. Any point during that, when you get that wall bounce, you can cancel into a super dash, which you cannot do right now, or cancel into any special move. So I can't do it right now because we don't have the patch live, but I could do something like hit, vanish, and then immediately go into Bardock's aerial spin to win. So that'll be something possible in the patch. Dragon rushes, so quite some big changes here. First here, states made it easier to connect in an air combo, so a lot of combos use like aerial DR, and that's cool. Now this is one of the biggest ones, and if you've seen some of the footage, you can cancel a Dragon Rush from a light. So I can go like light, if you're blocking for, say, like I can do something like this here, just, you know, hit you with lights, and immediately cancel that light into a Dragon Rush. Now right now, if it stands, if I try to cancel a Dragon Rush, I'll just, you know, get the auto combo, right? But it'll go directly into the DR, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with Dragon Rushes, which you know, is 100% intentional, because they want less blocking to happen, right? They want more action and more offense, a little less just blocking forever, which is one of the key problems of Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is fine by me, gets to the action a lot quicker, right? Now it also states that Dragon Rushes can be canceled into a Vanish when it hits in a combo. So I could do something like that and then go into a Vanish. I guess that's pretty crazy. I've not actually seen footage of that yet. But as it stands, that's pretty cool. And also, when Dragon Rushes clash, air options like double jumps and air dashes are now restored. So when you bounce off each other in a DR, as attack happens, you're both airborne, right? And you can do special cancels and stuff, right? And that's kind of a big deal, and definitely favors certain characters more than others, because like, you know, Bardock could like do Lariat or something, right? But as it stands now, when you're tech, you're just airborne. You can like jump, dash, whatever you want to do. So that'll have just a little more mobility after DR happens. Now, snapbacks, very big deal. So if you're not aware, snapbacks now come in much faster than they used to. But now you can choose. It's modular. This is something I asked for a very long time, so I'm very happy. So as it stands, the base snapback, you'll come in roughly 2-3 times faster than it does right now. But you, as the defending player, can come in on the old timing if you hold back. So you, as the person who just got snapped, can now choose to come in fast or come in slow. So a lot of the mathematical perfect timing setups no longer work. You gotta guess, the offensive player rather, and if you call them out on the bluff and they go for a wrong setup because of how you have delayed or not delayed your snap, then you can catch them back. So no longer is it just to put down your controller and just let them do whatever because you're in 20 seconds of block stun, right? You, as a defensive player, have some options to work with. Come in slow, come in fast, your choice. Love it. EX specials. As we know, all EX specials across the board now only cost half a bar. So normally if you want to do an EX, well, take a full bar, right? Just as much as a super, which made a lot of EX moves not very valuable in the end, honestly. Some characters have worthwhile EX moves, but most don't. But now it means if I was Frieza and I had 4 bars, I can do this 8 times in a row. And this being a pretty good move, all of a sudden, you know, only costing half a bar, it's a lot more valuable to be sure. Some EX moves are being tweaked because of this, because, you know, making them half a bar makes them a lot more spammable. And so some are tweaked with that in mind, but still, overall, it's going to make EX moves a lot more worthwhile. Very happy with the change. 6M, the universal overhead. So it states here, when canceled into an air dash when you're in the sparking blast state, the air dash will not cross over the opponent, because that's what it does right now. It does kind of create some like near unseeable left-right situations, but also if you do get the hit, sometimes it can screw up your combo as well. So for both the defensive player and the offensive player, I guess it has something to offer both sides. Not too sure what to make of this as it stands. I kind of find it mostly inoffensive, honestly, so I'm pretty okay with it. Another big universal change here is all heavies, so stand heavy and crouch heavy specifically, now do more damage when it causes a cinematic, basically when you use up the smash property. So 21 as their base, so we'll know when the day comes so we can compare it. Their stand heavy does 850, and their down heavy does 850 as well, right? So if you use it in the middle of a combo specifically, right, without it causing the blowback effect, it won't do more damage. Only when it has the cinematic effect attached to it, it'll do more damage. But basically, you'll get a little bit more damage out of your, like, your 2H combos, or if you're the kind of character that has a long-range stand H, you just like, hit people raw with it, it'll make you do more damage, and hey, that's awesome enough by me. This one, not 100% sure on here. It says jumping H's, you know, your universal jumping H. Landing recovery removed when it causes a cinematic. So the only time it really causes a cinematic is when you spike people down the ground, right? And I don't really notice any landing recovery. I never really have, so file that one under not 100% sure. Maybe there's like a frame or two that I've never really noticed and I can't really feel, and that's gone. I'm not sure, but as it stands, hey, there you go. The guard cancel mechanic, so when you're defending and you can tag in your partner, has now been given higher priority as far as clashes are concerned. So it's more likely to beat an enemy flat out rather than it clashing and then you basically losing a character because you're gonna get punished on hit, right? So that's fine. You know, Dragon Ball FighterZ is not exactly known for its very strong defensive mechanics. So taking one of the few options we have and making it just a little better, I'm more than okay with it. So here's another big change, once again to up the pace of the game and return back to neutral quicker. So for your assists, made it so that if the opponent has not been out of block stun for a set amount of time, your assists don't regenerate, they can't be used again. So for a lot of assists, like you can do like something like this and then call your dude. It's not a good assist for this example, but just, you know, you call your dude and then eventually those assists regenerate, right? If you constantly have offense, offense, offense and the enemy is blocking, your assists won't regenerate until they're out of the block stun, at least for a little bit, right? So eventually you run out of steam and the block string is over. So the enemy has a chance to breathe versus like situations where you can be under block pressure for like almost 20 actual seconds while the assists regenerate and you go, right? So it just, if you didn't get them in the first few seconds, basically reset back to neutral. I'm very okay with it. Also, it states here, made Z-sets hit away from them and change where they appear. Not too sure on that, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Now, this is a change that's a big deal for newcomers especially. If you're already a jaded vet, whatever, this won't matter too much, but changing how instant air dashing works. So you can now instant air dash, which is normally up, forward, right? And that's how you do it. And if you're newer to fighting games, it's a little awkward, right? But now you can just smash up, forward. So we can go 9-9 if you're using the keyboard inputs, right? Up, forward, it'll work. So you don't have to hit anything other than the same direction twice. That's easy enough for anyone to understand, because I know instant air dashing kind of messes with the heads of some newer players, especially if they don't come from a background of instant air dashing games, you know, like say a Street Fighter or something. So it just makes it way easier for everyone involved. Love it. Now here's a change, maybe not the biggest deal, but I can see being applicable in certain situations. So it made it possible to cancel an attack when your attack hits sub-characters like a Cyberman or a Ginyu Force. So basically you can special cancel when you hit like little people that are like off screen. Like right now, I tried to cancel that into the Fireball, and I can do it on Nappa just fine, right? But I can't do it on Cyberman. But I guess come the patch, if you hit that Cyberman, you'll be able to special cancel and do whatever you want. Now I don't know why you want to hit the Cyberman. They're nice little babies that only want to help. But if you're cruel like that, I guess you have an option. And finally, some bug fixes here. So fixed a bug where landing recovery was carried over from a previous jump. Fixed a bug where hurt boxes would act strangely when attack was done after block stun. And made it so hitboxes don't appear while the enemy is in hit stop from certain attacks that cause cinematics. Alright, and with all that said, let's get to the character specifics. So, fair warning. We have varying levels of translations of these, from very accurate and fantastic to I don't even know what they're trying to say, thanks to Google Translate, right? So please bear with us. All will come clear in a few days, but you know, hey, we don't want to wait a few days, we want it right now, so let's go with it, and let's start with Super Saiyan Goku. So Super Saiyan Goku, first change up here, and this is a big one. The fabled down medium, the 2M, the protagonist 2M as it were, some people call it, is getting a little bit of a nerf, a little bit of a buff. Let you choose your choice on, you know, if it's nerfed or buffed overall, but has increased range first and foremost. So the range was already very good as it stands, right? Like that was one of the best things about it, so it's better. More active frames, basically meaning it's going to be a lot easier to hit in certain situations if you're using it raw. Does have increased recovery and startup load. So it'll take just a couple more frames, we're not sure how many to get out there, and it'll take a couple more frames to recover overall. States here the change increases his reach and establishes more differences between him and base Goku and Blue Goku. As it stands, base Goku actually has the longest range down M, so I don't know if this is going to make his the longest now over base Goku's or not, but I guess we'll see. For standing S here, your basic Ki Blast says here change the knockback, although it doesn't say for better or for worse. The idea is to change it to make it easier for standing S to combo into follow-up hits. The Kamehameha is also getting a bit of a change, so this affects both the base version and the angled upward one, which almost everyone forgets he has. So increased damage, decreased recovery, so he recovers quicker, decreased active frames, so I guess it'll be out there just for a little bit less. Decrease the untech time, so it'll hold people in place less than it currently does. States make it easier to use in neutral, but overall, it's basically better to use as a zoning tool, right? So you're a little less open when you use one of these bad boys, and overall, you know, it just helps this range the game out that much more. The instant transmission Kamehameha, Warp Kamehameha, if you will, states here, startup is faster when the opponent's being comboed, so there'll be basically situations where you can get this way, I guess you couldn't before. This already does more damage than the base level 1, so, hey, cool. Overall, I gotta say, positive changes for Goku. I know some people are stressed out about the 2M thing. I think it'll work out just fine in the end. So, Vegeta, Super Saiyan, 2M, down M, shock. So, made the hitbox taller, and I'm assuming for a reason is like make combos like this a little bit easier. That kind of stuff, right? Because otherwise, you know, ground opponents don't worry about it too much. It says also adjusted the hurt box, changes to make it easier to combo into. Also, the hurt box was adjusted using the smallest Vegeta as a basis. I'm assuming they mean because there's multiple Vegeta models, and they're just using the smallest of those. Stand S, the basic Ki Blast here. Change knockback, very similar to Super Saiyan Goku. Make it easier to combo into. The 236X series here, that's the rush kicks. States here that when the ground versions cancel other moves, Vegeta keeps his air options. So basically, when you do this and vanish, then you can still double jump, you can still dash, all that kind of stuff. 214H, that's the EX knee. So the EX knee here states appears behind the opponent, does a follow-up hit. So basically, you'll switch sides when you do it, which is very good for the corner while doing it. Ground bounces when it causes a cinematic, meaning you like call an assist and recombo from there, also very good. States here the change increases the use cases for the EX version and distinguishes it from the medium version, which is true because honestly, the medium version is already full invincible, not much need to burn the bar. But if you side switch and then you also have some combo ability afterwards, if you have the assist on deck, then hey, it definitely distinguishes it and makes it quite a bit more valuable. So the heavy and special version of the Big Bang attack, that's the one that goes downwards versus the one that goes straight across normally. It states here, change the knockback on the aerial version. And the reason is here, made it easier to ultimate Z change and combo afterwards. So Piccolo, first change we have here is jumping medium, and specifically the auto combo version, so when you hit like LL in the air. The tracking is more precise, basically making it easier to combo into, and that's fine. So Piccolo, the 214L series, that's the guard point into the chops. So quite a few changes here. First up here, it says increase the buffer time in the supers, make it easier to combo in the supers. The L&M version specifically here, the armor starts earlier, which is good. It definitely helps them out. It says adjusted to be in line with other characters. The aerial versions here of the light and the EX versions have faster startup, make it easier to use in combos and neutral. Very good. I like it. Circle forward and the old side switch into the elbow. It says here, change the distance Piccolo travels after he crosses up in the aerial version. Made it easier to hit small characters. Good. Small characters get away with too much for too long, and I'm glad it's changed. Also, his basic assist here, and not everyone's getting multiple assists, but this is the assist he already has, is getting a big power up here as it shoots 2 homing balls. So as it stands, he comes and he does the one shot. He will now do the one shot, then immediately do the big follow-up. So as the patch notes say here, adjusted each hit's damage, overall damage is higher, decrease startup, and increase hit stop on hit, meaning basically it's easier to catch people if it actually connects. Made it easier to use in match and match with other assists. So yeah, big power up to this assist. For Tien Gohan here, it says here, stand light, this guy here, has added landing recovery, making it impossible to do true block strings until sparking runs out. Stand S, change knockback. This is kind of changed across a lot of characters. Just making it easier to combo into. Jumping 2S, that's the old bomb. So it made the initial hitbox larger, making it easier to combo into. It's already one of the best things about him. I guess it's just a little bit better yet. Now this next one here appears in quite a few other characters' notes. And I'm not 100% sure what it means, to be brutally honest with you. I'm going by Great Fernman's instruction, the gentleman who helped translate a lot of this, so we'll just go with that. So it states here, I'll give you both translations of how I have it. Change the hit effect on cinematic hits. This is specifically for Gohan's uppercut series. Made it so jump heavy causes a cinematic if Gohan does not land before the combo ends. Conversely, the alternate translation, a camera effect of a jump heavy attack is now generated when performing consecutive moves without landing. So as per Great Fernman's instructions, basically if you do your move and vanish, it'll cause a sliding knockdown when you recombo. So that is how I currently understand it. Once again, it'll be for other characters, but that is the note as we have it right now. As for Tien Gohan's EX uppercut here, made the hitbox taller, made the pushbox taller, increased the active frames, basically made it easier to hit opponents that are directly above Gohan, just make it a lot more workable overall. Now it's legs time. Signature move of the character, the medium jumping legs, now is buffed basically because they changed knockback to make it easier to combo into. So I'm not sure the duration or exactly how the knockback has changed, but to say make it easier to use in combo, so hey, there you go. However, the EX legs, hey, you didn't think you're going to get away with half-price EX legs with no change, did you? Because, come on, let's get real here. So the damage is reduced. Added damage proration, so if you start a combo with it, the combo will do less damage. Increase the recovery on block. Basically, the change is to reduce the move strength since it costs half a bar now. Still going to be very useful, I guarantee it, right? But it's definitely already one of the most spammable moves in the EX as it is, and if it costs half as much, well, then it's going to cause a problem, so tone down just a little bit. Also, our final move here, so the level 5 version of the Father-Son Kamehameha here. That is the version where you hold the move and burn the extra 2 bars. Increase the untech time, meaning basically the enemy will be in more hit stun than they currently are. So you can basically get up and smack them or get some sort of setup or whatever before they get up after the hard knockdown. Frieza, definitely one of the winners of the patch without having to go too much into it right now, but let's just talk about the patch notes. So 2M, the old hit into the tail, made the hitbox taller, basically easier to use in combos and stuff. Especially, you know, like pizza combos and like all that kind of stuff. Just a little bit easier to work with. Jumping medium, also 2 hits this guy here, made it so the tracking in the auto combo, so the version where you have to hit LL, version is more precise, making combos work a lot easier. Jumping 2H, down heavy, this guy right here. So when you use it in combos, this kind of guy that causes a sliding knockdown. So it says here change knockback when it causes cinematic, basically spike down. Increase the amount of time the enemy slides, so you have more frame advantage to work with. Removed landing recovery on cinematic hit. Adjusted the distance Frieza moves when he does it. Does it say closer or not, though? I'm going to assume closer. Adjusted landing recovery. Basically, the change is to increase hit advantage on hit, making it easier to continue your offense. As stands, it kind of dumps him a little far away. Can't do too much with it. Furthermore, it also makes it easier to combo into supers. Made it hit grounded opponents when done immediately after a jump. Jumping S, the old triple triad of shots here. First and foremost, it will now beat Super Dash, as it currently does not. That is definitely a bigger deal, as this move, like, it doesn't have too much use outside of certain, you know, corner combos, right? So it'll give it something to work with. Also, increase untech time. It'll hold people in hit stun a lot longer. Reduce the damage, though. And it says here you have a little bit of landing recovery when you hit the ground. The change overall is to make it more usable in neutral and easier to combo in the corner. So when you're threatening, like, you know, a little closer, because it can hit grounded opponents pretty easily, right? If they're in range, they can't super dash through it, and that's pretty cool and pretty neat. Also, 236S, the old death ball, this guy here. States here, change the effect on cinematic hit, because if you are close, the animation does change. When the move does not hit in close range, the projectile is slower. So the baseball, if you don't hit up close, will be slower than it currently stands. And also very similar to Team Gohan, after a vanish, made it so you'll get a sliding knockdown, as that's not currently the way it works. Sorbet's ring gun, so that's the ring shot you can get when Golden Frieza ends. Increase the minimum damage, change the effect on aerial hits, removed its follow-up damage super proration, basically made it easier to use in combos and it hit opponents. As there are quite a few combos, if you're not aware, you can actually combo directly into it. And Golden Frieza itself, you can cancel it early if you want, you know, instead of having to go into that fall down state against your will. The cooldown timer does not count down during sparking. So if you're in Sparking Blast, and let's say assume, you know, level 3 Sparking Blast, you can safely know you are in Golden Frieza for the entire duration. So you can let it rock for a few seconds, you know, then do your level 3, and you can have like 30 plus seconds of Golden Frieza. And with, you know, the comeback mechanic, all that, Sparking Blast, Limit Break, Golden Frieza with the new duration bus is basically the closest thing we're going to get to Dark Phoenix in this game. But basically all these changes here increases the use cases of Golden Frieza a lot, in my opinion, because he gets the Golden Frieza buffs, you know, sparking buffs, limit break buffs, and yeah, he's basically a playable boss character at this point, and you don't have to worry about just randomly falling over dead against your will mid-combo or that kind of stuff. Ginyu, in my opinion, another guy who got out pretty good in this patch. First up here, 5M, stand M. Increase the distance travel, so it goes further than it does currently. And yo, as you can see here, Ginyu has no real issues with range, like, already. So if you're making this move better, man, he's going to be in, like, that Broly 16 category of, like, a neutral lord, right? With huge buttons. 2M, same deal here, goes further. This one, not as much range. But yeah, overall, just making it easier to use in neutral and stuff. It says here for 2M specifically, made it easier to combo into down heavy. Made it easier to use in combos in neutral as well. Yeah, like, big range, I love it. It's great. Jumping medium, says here, increase the active frames, increase the recovery, but it doesn't state in which way. Adjust the hitbox and adjusted the hurtbox here. So overall, made it easier to combo into and made it not hit in weird looking ways. So the Stand S series here, or the Ginyu Force, is getting just buffs all around. So let's talk about here. So Guldo, first up with the projectile. Decreased startup, increased damage, increased untech time. So once again, you can just hold people in hit stun longer, even at maximum, you know, combo ability. Increase hit stop, increase hitbox. So basically, It's strictly better all around, make it easier to use in every possible situation. Next up here, Burger doing the kicks. So once again, increase untech time, meaning you can combo easier afterwards. Decrease damage proration, so actually you'll do more damage overall. Increase hit stop on the final hit, easier to combo into it once again here. Increase the push box, increase travel distance. So once again, just making it better in every possible aspect. And now let's talk Jace. So Jace reduced his recovery. So I guess he's out there less. Doesn't matter if he can get hurt. Change where he appears. I think that's because he'll appear directly on top of the enemy now. Ground bounces on hit. So like if you're not aware, like take off the guard here. That's it. Like, you don't get much more past that, right? Unless you manage to like just be right on top of them. Ground bounce on hit makes it a lot easier to do something afterwards. And once again, just buffed across the board. Everyone except for Raccoon, because Raccoon has the knee, and I guess the knee is just fine. But yeah, big buffs. Ginyu 236X, that's the shoulder series here. And it's also Air OK, and this is going to talk about what... Ginyu 236X, that's the shoulders. So first up here, increase the aerial versions, specifically active frame, so he can travel a lot better in the air. And also increase the distance, so it's basically easier to use in neutral, make it more like a base Goku style elbow, I guess. The medium version has decreased startup, meaning it hits faster. Basically, they'll take less time to hit the enemy, so easier to use in neutral and combo once again. It also controls a good amount of space anyway, so that's fine. The EX version, decrease the startup, so it starts up faster. Increase the hit stop, so basically more time to hit confirm. Increased untech time in the air version when it causes cinematic. Basically makes it easier to hit, easier to make safe, easier to use it. And once again, since it only costs half a bar now, it's just a lot better move overall. And of course, hey, Ginyu has a whole new level 3 super. Hopefully I spliced it in right around here. It certainly definitely beats, you know, charging up the Milky Cannon to level 3, right? And just burning 3 bars that way. It'll do a lot more damage. You can Z change into it as well. You know, him being the only proper level 3, the body change was always a little awkward to work with, so now this is just a lot better. He plays a little bit more like a regular character now in that regard. Fantastic, I love it. Also, his assist. So the assist, the shoulder, comes out faster. To keep it in line with other similar style assists, great. This was never a bad assist, just so you know. Like, I know a lot of people sleep on Ginyu and stuff, but this caused way more like hits done even in high combo situations. The quote-unquote untech time, as we use a lot in the patch notes. So just making it better, man. Awesome. Fantastic. Love it. So Bardock, the old enemy of the state here. First up here, quarter circle forward medium. That is the uppercut version of the Rebellion Spear. Added landing recovery to the ground version when it causes a cinematic, so when it like does a little camera change. And changed the hit effect on a cinematic hit specifically. Stated the changes limit Bardock's ability to get mix-ups off medium lariat. Made it so also here the old vanish cancel thing here, and you follow up, then you'll get a sliding knockdown, which is how it works for other characters going over previous patch notes. EX Rebellion Spear. This guy here reduced block stun, so less block stun. Reduced recovery, so he does recover quicker though. And reduce the untech time, so the enemy isn't hit stun for less. Basically lower the move strength a little bit, because once again, EX bars only cost half a bar now. So people can spam this all day long, so the move just toned down just a little bit. Bardock, quarter circle forward S, that's the old Tyrant Lancer, this guy here. So charges up the powered up version faster, hey? I guess that's a good buff. And change the hit effect on the cinematic hit, so when it actually connects in the camera changes and all that kind of stuff. Makes it easier to use in combos, and once again here with the vanish stuff we talked about earlier, just you're allowed to get your sliding knockdown off a follow-up from the vanish. And as for Bardock's regular assist here, the other two he's going to get later on, it says here, increase hit stop on hit. Basically, hey, it's easier to use for combos, so good assist gets a little bit better. So, GT Goku, the Rat King himself. Let's talk about it. First up here, 5LL. That's his little move here. So, the second hit of the L combo does not go as far anymore, and also has increased startup here, so it's just strictly worse. So, it's going to be a less terrorizing move. Stand S, the old power pole extend here, made the hitbox higher up than it currently is. Adjusted the opponent's position on a cinematic hit, so if it hits, it kind of changes, right? Adjusted the knockback on non-cinematic hit, so if you're using in the middle of a combo. Increased the untech time on non-cinematic hit, making more hits done to work with, so it's easier to combo. So basically, yeah, made it easier to use in neutral, made it easier to use in combos, so hey. And also the jump version here also increased the untech time, making it easier to use in combos as well. The quarter circle forward series, the Dragon Flurry Fist here, so reduce the distance at which the attack will hit, stating it made it so the move will win less against the opponent's moves. As you can tell, you know, the move travels forward quite a bit, right? So I guess it'll travel a little bit less forward, but then that's kind of contradicted here, as the light version specifically states that the distance is increased. So hey, who knows? The quarter circle back series, the Dragon Flash Fist, these guys here. So Goku now loses a lot of height after the attack on the grounded version specifically, so he can do a lot less in the way of mix-ups, because he can do basically very easy overhead low mix-ups if he catches you in the corner with it. The EX version here decreased the distance traveled. It was one of the easiest ways to like completely bypass neutral, as you can just go, I'm just on top of you immediately. So it won't go as far, I guess. Doesn't say how much less here, but yeah, once again, EX moves cost less. This move was one of the few EX moves that was already used. It was actually worth the bar to begin with, so just toning it down just a little bit. The Spirit Bomb. Hey, we gotta talk about this, right? So it does less damage, no longer causes a hard knockdown. The enemy is allowed to tech. You can still hit him on the way down, it would seem. Otherwise, he's not slower or anything, so you can still hit him on the way down. But as for like hard knockdown setups, you know, left-right gimmicks, that's not going to happen anymore, and just does a little bit less overall damage to kind of tame the wild beast. Still good though, still good. As for Trunks here, down medium, the old slide extended the hitbox upwards, just make it easier to combo into. Jumping H, the old sword slash here, decreased startup, so it comes up faster. Increase the active frames, easier to hit with. Made the initial hitbox a little bit smaller though, and we also have here increase the hurt box at the beginning move, so it's just a little easier to smack him out of it. Basically, buff the move for neutral, and it's easier to work with. Jumping down 2H, the old boot upwards here. Decreased startup, just comes out faster. Might allow for new corner combo routes as well. We'll see, I suppose. Quarter circle back S, change the future. States here, made the initial hit only hit the opponent's main character. I'm assuming that's like a cinematic, so it can't catch assists or something. Says here, also change the effect on cinematic hits. It's the same deal here. If you catch with a vanish and then go for an attack, you'll get a sliding knockdown now when you otherwise wouldn't have before. The Shining Slash series here, critical forward attack. So it says here, increase the buffer for you to do a super. I assume that's when you land. And increase the amount of time the opponent slides on a cinematic hit. So hey, that's just a straight buff to it. Now, going backwards here, the Cyclone, you know, the old spin to win here. The EX version, now you can steer it a lot better, and you can steer it with up and down. So you can fly right into the air, or if you're already in the air, you can just shoot right down to the ground. So it's basically a super mobility tool. Once again, it only costs half a bar now, so Trunks is one of the most mobile characters in the game with this. Also, the travel speed, his actual distance traveled, is faster now. And yeah, it's just a better move. So if you like extreme mobility, Trunks now has it. Going on to Cell. So first up here, the auto combo into the old bear hug. It says here, decreased the damage proration. So basically, after you do your auto combo stuff, I guess you'll do a little bit more damage. Down medium, the old slide. Increase the hitbox, basically make it a little bit easier to hit combo with, a little bit easier to hit with. Standing heavy. So if you remember earlier in the video, standing heavies and down heavies are all getting damage buffs. So all the versions of stand heavies, and this is for all characters, not just Cell, they all also get a damage buff as well. Jump down M, the old teleport, and hit on the other side move. So increase hit stun on grounded hit. So basically, the enemy is hit and they're grounded, not in the air. They'll just be in the blowback animation just a little bit longer, making it a little bit easier to combo into. So now let's talk about the rolling crush attacks here. So the medium version, decreased startup on the grounded version, not the aerial version. So it's basically easier to use in combos and stuff. The heavy version, this guy here, the ground version goes behind the opponent. So I guess it's a cross-up. Once again, the patch is not live yet, but I guess it's a cross-up. The perfect attack series, once again, in line with many other moves. If you get a vanish and aerial attack, it'll cause a sliding knockdown now. The EX version specifically can now go into an Ultimate Z change, which you normally can't do. You can do it just fine for like the medium versions. Like, you know, I can go right into the Tag Super, right? But I can't do it for the EX versions, and hey, well, how you can. 214S, that's the old unblockable. This guy here, Saints, does not do multiple hits when using a combo. So maybe it'll just do a single hit. Does not hit after a KO, and change the effect on cinematic hit. It says here, brought in line with other throws, made it so the jump H causes cinematic. Once again, it's their fancy term for if you vanish, then you follow up, you get a sliding knockdown. And finally, his beam. So much like Super Saiyan Goku, increase the damage, decrease recovery, so he recovers faster on both versions, decrease the active frame, so it's not out there just as much, decrease the untech time, so not as much for like combo kind of stuff here. But yeah, overall, it's just better to use a neutral here. The move's faster and does more damage. Android 18. So first up here, stand light, down light. Stand light here says change the knockback on aerial hit. It can be easier to combo afterwards, and down light, same deal. This stand S here, so change knockback. This is once again the case for many characters. Just make it easier to combo with. Jumping light specifically here says decrease startup, so it comes out faster. Made the hitbox hit further upwards, so basically easier to use for mix-ups, basically easier to use for combo ability, all that kind of stuff. Jumping S here, increased recovery. It says here this change should make it easier to link in the jump light, given that jump light is faster now, but I could see it messing with certain other combo routes. I guess we'll find out in time. The quarter circle forward series, the grabs, the command grabs, increased the throw range. This is fantastic. I'm happy for any grapplers to get buffs, because their throw range, as you can see here, it's kind of anemic. It's definitely not Broly or 16, right? So anyone with a command grab getting command grabs buffed, very happy to see it. The medium and heavy version specifically for the command grabs. So you are allowed to hold the button and get a different move. It says here, change the timing of the input. I just hold the button. I didn't even know there was timing. Increase distance traveled again, and change the effect on cinematic hit. This is for stuff like doing vanishes, so you can get like a sliding knockdown follow-up off of basic LLL, that kind of stuff. Also states here, the EX version specifically, made it that the latter half of the move is special cancelable on hit. I'm not sure which version it means. You definitely can't special cancel as it currently stands, so I'm not sure if it's one version or both. But they're neither of them are special cancelable, so I guess that works out. Increase the hit stop on 17's attack, so this is the non-health version. And also change the knockback on the attack as well to make it easier to combo off of. As it stands on the X version, he knocks you way up there. You can still homing dash, but if maybe he's a little bit closer, you can do some other stuff. The quarter circle back heavy, calling 17 to blast people when they call for assists. So 17 now shows up faster. If you do the input again, like you do it a second time, instead of calling him again, he'll just do the blast by itself. No longer pulls the opponent while they're in block stun, increases the hit stop of the final hit, made it so Android 17 cannot defend against moves that are done on the opponent's main body. That one I'm not quite sure the language of. And if a Z assist is called while he's on standby, so if you call an assist, I guess, then 17 just goes away. States here, change the move's performance since EX moves cost less now, so it's definitely more spammable than it was before, to be sure. Made it so even though the opponent has one character remaining, you can get the follow-up. So yeah, if you call him and like, you know, there's no characters left and he still has some use, as he can still be triggered. Remove the 17 vacuuming effect on the opponent for strong mix-ups. So much like the basic Ki Blast here, also quarter circle back ass, when you call 17 do Ki Blast, same thing, changes the knockback. And quarter circle forward ass, the old Destructo Disc. So increase the damage when it hits the opponent's assist. It says changes fixing a bug that causes Destructo Disc to do less damage against assists. For the original Rat Boy Gotenks, the final hit of the auto combo made the hitbox taller, made the hurt box taller, just basically a little bit easier to hit the opponent. Stand H across the board. Once again, stand H's and down H's have got a damage buff if they cause, you know, the blowback smash hit. And if you hold it, once again, this is across the board for all characters that can hold it, it'll also do more damage yet. Your basic Ki Blast here changed knockback values, as is the case across the board for many other characters. The Miracle Super Punch series, so you can now special cancel it on whiff. So as it stands, like you can do it on hit before, but now you can just whiff the whole move and still get a special cancel. and a variety of other things are changing in regards. And so increases the use case of the move by introducing the whiff cancel. It doesn't say if you can whiff cancel into like a beam as well, because that'd be kind of cool. That'd be something different. Adjusted the move with the whiff cancel in consideration. Hit range was adjusted to make the move easier to beat Super Dash, but also easier to lose to long-reaching moves. And conversely here, the old spin to win can also be canceled in the specials on whiff. So hey, you know, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. And kind of much the same idea here. So yeah, that'll definitely be a very new, interesting dynamic for Gotenks. EX spin to win, this guy here. So increase the attack range when the opponent's in a combo, and also change the effect on cinematic hit, making it just, you know, a little bit easier to combo into and get your sliding knockdown afterwards, because you can't get a sliding knockdown afterwards as it currently stands. The held version of the beam, so if you hold the button to cancel, says added more landing recovery on the held version, basically to ruin a little bit of mix-up potential, because, you know, Rat Boy was on top once and we didn't like it, so don't let him be on top again. His base super here, calling the Kamikaze goes. So it says here, decrease the startup if the opponent's already in a combo state. And finally, for his assist, which has always been one of the best assists in the game, Black Donut. So increase the attack range while the opponent's in a combo. So basically, the hitbox will be extended to help catch people while you're comboing them, making it do all the impossible stuff it already does a little bit better. So Krillin, all you Krilldogs out there, I know you're going to be happy here. First up here, Senzu Beans. So Senzu Bean now has infinite amount of them. And he will always throw Senzu Beans with the quarter circle black input now. Never throw rocks, because rock's going to have its own input. So rock is now down, and a button, which is currently not used up by anything. So if you want to use that rock here, it's there. And also the rock is now the boulder, because the rock can no longer be super dash. It's a proper projectile. So you wanted Krillin to get that granite, that limestone, well now people get bonked in the head, no more super dashing through it. So moving on from that, the Solar Flare has a follow-up on hit. Doesn't say what the follow-up is, but hey, there you go. It doesn't use the follow-up, it'll just be the base version though if you hold the button. It says here, unaffected by hit stun scaling. So if you use Solar Flare, you get a damage follow-up afterwards. And it just does this raw damage regardless of the combo. That's pretty good. Increasing its use cases, I guess it says, and hey, that makes sense to me. So the old After Image series here, also getting some changes. Increased the buffer time to cancel in the supers, and made the hitbox taller, so it's a little bit easier to hit people a little bit higher up. So also here, the light and medium version specifically, says Krillin now keeps his air options when the ground version is cancelled. This allows double jumps and air dashes after the move is vanished. And the base assist as he has it right now is being changed here. So change the way the rock works to be in line with how it works when it's used on point. Increases untech time, meaning a lot more hit stun and combos. Throws 2 rocks. Dr. Doom Molecular Shield, watch out, because Krillin's throwing 2 rocks now. You're probably going to use the beam assist. Let's not kid ourselves here, right? You're probably going to use that beam assist when it comes out. But hey, if you want to just fill the screen with that shale, there you go. 2 rocks for the assist for Krillin. Let's go. Kid Buu, stand heavy. Made the hitbox taller, made the hurtbox taller. Just easier to use in combos in that kind of situation, but not making it busted for neutral or nothing. Stand S, the old one-shotter. So increase the damage. Made the hitbox taller so it's easier to hit people a little higher up. Adjusted the initial position states just a little bit easier to combo with. Jump medium, the old Inspector Gadget. Says here, when the first hit is canceled into other normals, Kid Buu's float is increased. The changes so that stuff like jump medium into L, like if you hit right away, that kind of stuff. It'll now whiff on crouchers. This is, you know, prevent some silly mix-up stuff. Old Candy Beam. Once again, like many other characters, changing the effect on cinematic hit, just so you can get sliding knockdown and stuff on combos. The Arm Ball made the damage higher on hit. Once again, this has always been a really good move here. They can definitely get a lot of pressure and stuff off of. So, hey, good move. It just gets better. Now, here's a big one. The old Mystic Ball. Once again, half off now, right? Because the patch changes. So, has increased startup. Basically, just to keep the move from not being completely busted. The move's still going to be good, don't you worry. But since now it's only half a bar instead of a full bar, it's just to keep you from spamming it a little too much. Also, just like the base move, the assist does more damage as well. Hey, welcome change. If you play Kid Buu, I'm sure you gotta be happy with that. Majin Buu here for Vanish and for Sparking. It says here, his fall speed after attacking more in line with other characters. He used to fall slower, making it a little bit easier to punish, so now it's in line with everyone else. The auto combos. So first up here, 5LL, so the low here. Change knockback, so basically made it easier to combo into, maybe pushing them a little less far out. The 5LLL, that's the one that ends with the true grab. It says giving it throw damage proration to bring in line with other 5LLLs. 5M, that's the old Kabonk, which is a true overhead. Increase travel distance. Ground bounces on air hit, which we'll talk about in a second here. But it made it easier to use in combos and mix-ups, and it's good. It's a very unique tool he has, and I always liked it. Now, down M. This guy here. So, change the knockback, increase untech time, meaning it has more hit stun. And it does mean it will go directly into stand medium, which it has never done before. Just makes combo stuff a lot easier for Majin Buu, to be sure. Increase the opponent's hit stop, increase in recovery a little bit. But yeah, it's possible now to combo from 5N to stand M. Like, you know, like a normal character could, right? So that's just a pretty big deal overall. Quarter circle forward series, the old sumo stomps, just like E Honda. So cause the slide knockdown on cinematic hit. So if you get that camera change, it's going to be a slide knockdown versus normally they can just like tech out and you get no pressure, no follow-up. That's not going to be the case anymore. And if you get it on non-cinematic hit, like in the middle of a combo or something, like a very long combo, you use your smash already, it'll cause a ground bounce, making this move just overall way better. The EX version, getting a tiny little nerf here, increased recovery and decrease the travel distance because you can like go full screen with it, no problem. Once again, costs half a bar now, like all EX moves now do. So you got to bring it in line just a little bit. The quarter circle back series, that's the cartwheels. So increase the travel distance during the startup of the move for the aerial versions. So I guess you'll go further backwards, but it states here it made it easier to use in combos, I guess so. Is level 3. So increase the damage. Hey, good. It was actually one of the lower damage level 3s. Increase the minimum damage, good. And increase the speed of the projectile, like the little candy beam zap itself. That guy right there, right? So it'll go faster. Just made it easier to use in combos and just makes the move better overall. As for his assist, the old bad breath, the basic one, not the new ones. So has decreased startup, so it comes out faster, making it more in line with other assists as they currently stand. So Nappa, these changes unfortunately don't turn into the dark god of Dragon Ball FighterZ like I was hoping, but they're still buffs, so I'll take them. Stand light here, the basic stand light. Change knockbacks has made it easier to combo after. Never had problem comboing with it, but whatever, I guess it's a buff. The auto combo here, the third hit specifically, the hitbox on it has been increased upwards to make it easier to like connect in combos, which is good, because I have seen it and I have had it whiff before in the past. Stand S, this is an odd one here. So change the knockback on first hit, doesn't say how. Pushback is larger during the attack. Increase the opponent's hit stop on the key blast hit, so it'll be easier to visually assess. It says made it easier to use in combos. I guess. I don't know. More hit stops good, but it doesn't really change the essence of the move. Downlight, the old slap here. So change knockback, made it easier to use in combos as it states. Jump light, these guys here. Jump light's always hit a lot higher up than other characters, so it says it's made the overall hitbox larger. So it'll definitely help with like just overall combo ability and changing Nappa's position during the attack. So combo stuff should just be easier to work with. Quarter circle back S, the elbow crash / too bad. So if you do the move, do a vanish afterwards, and combo afterwards, you get a slide knockdown where you didn't before. This is a universal change across a lot of characters. So Nappa's supers, his level 1, level 3, have hold effects now. So first up here, for the level 1, it states here you can hold it to change where the explosion appears. The base explosion will appear somewhere else now as well, and the held version will appear somewhere else. So I'm assuming it's going to be like kind of like close and far. The level 3 as well also has a held version. So the level 3, if you hold it, says under some circumstances, this can be comboed even after the button is held. Nappa can do special moves after the button is held. So that's going to be a weird one. Maybe he just does the beam, like without the punch follow-up? and then you can do a follow-up after. He already actually can combo after his level 3 with like really weird Cyberman setups, but that's like super edge case and like never really gonna happen in a real match. But yeah, it's different enough. And speaking of the most different, so the medium Cyberman will now have a different color. So that's the Cyberman that spits. So the green Cyberman is both for the medium and light. The EX has a different color here. It is more of like a kind of browny kind of color. So I guess each Cyberman variation will have its own color, so the opponent will always know which one's on deck. Also here, his assist. As it currently stands here, the assist position of the attack changes based on the opponent's position. So AKA, I guess it tracks like it used to back in the day. So hey, that's a buff. Android 16. Maybe not back at full power, but he's starting to get back on his feet after having his legs chopped off in the initial Season 2 patch. First up here, jumping lights. So these guys here made the initial hitbox taller. Also made the hurtbox taller, but yeah, basically it's easier to work with in combos. Jumping H also has much faster startup, decrease the startup specifically here. So it just makes it more standard with other characters, so that's going to up combo ability to be sure. Jumping S, it's a two-hitting move if you're not aware. You can do a follow-up, or you can just do a single hit if you want. The second hit, the hitbox is now higher up, which is great, because certain characters, actually, combos could drop if you did the second hit, so that's fantastic. Quarter circle forward, medium, and heavy. That's where he rushes forward to do his throw here. It says here, decrease damage proration on cinematic hit, so that's when the camera changes. So your combos afterwards will do more damage, your follow-ups will do more damage than they currently do. Quarter circle back, heavy. That's the EX aerial grab here. The ground version's first hit can be cancelled into supers and vanish. Kind of a good thing here, because this is the thing. If you're not aware, his EX air grab, that first hit that kind of pops him up into the air, is actually his fastest move. His stand lights and all that are actually slower than that, so if you're in a like very high pressure situation, this is his fastest move. So you can now go like this right into like a vanish or something if you want to cancel in like very high pressure situations and that kind of stuff. So hey, it's just gives him more to work with, and as the change says here, gives him more freedom. Jumping quarter circle forward medium, this guy here, once again here, decrease damage proration on cinematic hit, just so you have a little bit more damage in combos. Jumping medium and H versions as well. And as for his assist here, increase the untech time, meaning more hits done, and increase the opponent's hit stop on hit. So basically, there's more hits done and easier to visually assess that you have to hit. So it's just better overall for like combos and like hit confirms and that kind of stuff. Lord Yamcha, we got some changes here. First up here, the auto combo, specifically the last hit. Increase the untech time, meaning it has more hits done to work with. Can jump cancel every hit while you're in sparking, because you actually have some difficulty canceling it in sparking until near the end. And change knockback on cinematic hits, basically making it easier to combo into and out from. Jumping to H, that is the dive kick. So increased untech time, meaning, once again, there's basically more hits done, and made the initial hitbox taller, so it's going to be easy to work with certain combos. There's certain combos where it's very easy to drop this, so that's good. And yeah, just make it easier to combo with overall. The quarter circle back series, that's the spin to win. So made it so the initial portion of the move doesn't clash. So basically in a situation where it would clash, it now just wins. And also increase the input buffer for canceling into supers. So making it more usable as an anti-air, because once again, no clashing, and easier to combo into super after the fact. And now specifically the light and the medium versions of this move added the head property, basically anti-air property, invulnerability to the middle of the air version, because as it currently stands, you ain't beating homing dashes for nothing with the air versions of these moves. The EX version, yeah, sure. And hey, there's that class we talked about, right? But the light and medium versions, not so much. If the ground version is cancelled into other moves, Yamcha retains his air options, so you can just work with stuff a little bit better. Adjusted the grounded version's travel distance, making it better on block. So as it currently stands, say we did this, right? So we're roughly this distance away. So maybe just kind of further back, because that would definitely make it better on block, right? But basically here, making it more usable as an anti-air. When vanished, he can do Double jumps and air dashes, because once again he will retain his properties. When the light and medium version is blocked, Yamcha can act a little bit earlier than before. As for his quarter circle forward series, the Wolf Fang Fist itself. So first up here, the light specifically. The light version has more on-tech time, once again, just more hit stun. The hit stop on the final hit, so the visual confirmable part of the final hit is longer, so it makes it easier to combo into. The medium version, that's the side switcher one. So once again here, increase the on-tech time, more hit stun, increase the hit stop on the final hit once again. Now the follow-up versions here, the light and the medium versions of the follow-ups. So increase on-tech time again, and increase the hit stop on the final hit again. Once again, just making all this easier to combo into, easier to visual assess all sorts of stuff, right? So the hold forward version follow-ups here, that's where he does the big old claw here, the light and the medium. Decrease recovery, so he does recover faster. And change the opponent's position on the cinematic hit. Standing here, Yamcha can act faster after the L and M versions are blocked. To adjust for the change, however, the opponent's position has been adjusted, so to prevent Yamcha from comboing after the fact. So Yamcha, the EXs here, let's talk about them. First here, the regular EX Wolf Fang Fist, which will be very spammable because it only costs half a bar. Decreased block stun, less block stun. When the move hits the opponent's point, specifically, the character up front, not their assists, the recovery is reduced and changes the effect on cinematic hit. And the regular EX here, the one that's the whole shebang, increase the on-tech time. Once again, just a little bit more hit stun to work with. Moving on to Tien here, the light auto combos, the final hit specifically, made the hitbox bigger, easier to combo into. Stand H, that's the boot. Reduce recovery on cinematic hit, so he recovers quicker, so new things will be possible. Down M, increased travel distance, so he'll move further ahead than he currently does. Down heavy, this guy here, the old other big boot. Increased landing recovery and adjusted travel distance, this is the case here. Made it impossible to be a true block string while constantly in sparking, so just get rid of some shenanigans. Jumping 2H, this guy here. Adjusted travel distance to make it easier to use in combos. Quarter circle forward series here, that's the volleyball fist. Now removed landing recovery on cinematic hit, making it easier to combo into supers and stuff on hit. The medium version specifically, decreased startup, so faster, and this is the one that's armored too, by the way. Attack startup changes based on the distance from the opponent, and increase the active frame, so basically it's more worthwhile to use. And once again, this is an armored move. He ain't Broly, he ain't 16 or anything, he still has armor, so it makes it pretty useful. The heavy version, which is a grab, by the way. The grounded version can only be used once per combo, and the aerial version, which is the big chop, says here decrease the air version startup. So brought in line with other throw moves and made the air version better for mix-ups and for combos. The quarter circle back series, that is the aerial knees here. So it says here, reduce recovery, no longer negative on hit. The light version specifically causes sliding knockdown on cinematic hit, which it already does, so I'm not sure what that means. It says makes it easier to combo into supers, but you can already do it, so not too sure what that means. As for the medium and the heavy versions, change the ground bounce knockback on a cinematic hammer change hit. In order to adjust for the reduced recovery, the knockback effect has been changed so stand light won't immediately combo directly thereafter. Quarter circle back S, that's Chaozu! So Chaozu has less recovery. He has better hit stop, so holding the enemy in place when it hits. And better meter gain, so just better all around. And also, calling Chaozu as a level 3 super, increased invulnerability frames, making it harder to interrupt before Chaozu kind of does his business. Also, as for the supers, the Dodon Ray, increased on-tech time, meaning the enemy will be in more hit stun than before. So it makes it a lot better to use as a combo assist. Hey, thumbs up. Adult Gohan, first up here, down heavy. Added landing recovery when cancelled into other moves, making it impossible to make a true block string forever in sparking. The stand S is Palm. Add cancels into other normals when at level 7. That's specifically level 7 potential unlocked. Jumping S here, also added cancels into other normals when at level 7. The quarter circle back series, that is the ultimate back fist here. Added landing recovery, so landing recovery is uniform across all versions, along with the buffs to the medium and the heavy versions. And hey, let's talk about those. So quarter circle back, heavy, and mediums here, the other versions of it. So the move is being changed up a little bit here. So change the effect after the first hit. Change to knockback after every other hit, because we'll talk about it in a second, because it only does one hit right now. That'll change. Can be canceled in the supers when Gohan lands. Increase the number of hits, so it'll do more than the one hit. Adjusted the damage for that, and increase the untech time. And EX legs, let's talk about it here. Once again, EX moves only take half a bar now versus a full bar. But if you think you're going to spam it all day forever, well, hey, there's a couple little changes. First up here, increase the untech time, so the hit's done on the cinematic hit. Change knockback on the cinematic hit. Made it impossible to get a cinematic hit in the same combo after this causes a cinematic hit, so like no more like just multiple after multiple after multiple. Change the travel distance on hit. Removed landing recovery when this move hits the opponent's point character, like the point character you're hitting, not the assist. Reduced the damage, reduced the block stun, because hey, you're going to spam it, so it's going to be toned down the way, right? And adjusted the recovery, so made it easier to combo on cinematic hit and harder to combo on non-cinematic hit. Adjusted overall, because once again, EX are going to be very more just spammable across the board. And finally, the assist. Increased the startup, so it's going to be slower. Made it impossible to clash with other moves. It's still the fastest assist in the game. Was slowed down to prevent unintended combos from certain cinematic moves. So hit, first up here, stand light. This guy here. Change the knockback and make it easier to combo afterwards. Down light, that's the old overhead here. Increase the opponent's hit stop on hit. Oh god, that's going to saying hit so many times with hit, eh? Increase the active frames. Change the knockback. Made it so that even when canceled into a stand M on hit, right here, hit will not be at a disadvantage. To account for that, made it hard to use in combos. So stand S, that's the old counter. So change knockback timing if it connects. Change the timing to cancel into a vanish on a successful counter to prevent hit from getting punished for doing so. Increase recovery on a successful counter. And change the effect on cinematic hit for, once again, if you get it and then you vanish, you can then just cause a sliding knockdown when you couldn't before. The unblockable series here, change effect on cinematic hit once again, so if you do it, then you vanish, you're able to get a sliding knockdown with a jump heavy when you couldn't before. The quarter circle forward series, so this is when he starts busting out the stands. So quarter circle forward series, now into medium specifically, these now, both versions here, cause sliding knockdowns on hit versus them being able to immediately tech up, making this a lot more usable and get a lot more pressure and stuff afterwards. And also, the EX follow-ups here. These guys right here. So the EX now has increased active frame, so the move is out there for longer. Hitbox is taller, so it can hit higher up. And once again here, change the effect on cinematic hit, so it's easier to get slide knockdown after a vanish. And finally, as for the assist he currently has, not the new assist coming up, the invulnerable frames start earlier. Increased untech time, once again, more hits done for the assist. Decrease startup, so it'll hit faster than it currently does, and increase the active frames, making it more in line with other assists, and just making it a lot more useful pound for pound to be sure. Blue Goku, first up here, the Stand S series, like many other characters, change the knockback. Quarter circle forward H, that is the EX elbow. So it says here, change the knockback effect on hit. Goku can now act in the air after the aerial, specifically, version is blocked, so he'll retain, like, a lot of his properties. And fix the bug where the move would act weird if it was targeting an opponent who's currently off screen. So overall, just making it easier to combo with. Now, the quarter circle back series, these are the grabs. So the grab range has been extended, and hey, good, I like it. The medium and the EX versions now specifically, it says here, increase the travel distance, so it'll hit from further away yet again. Change the effect on cinematic hit here. So once again, as with many other moves, you get your vanish, and now you can homing dash from vanish. Follow up, and you can get a sliding knockdown still. Jumping quarter circle back, that's the dive kick series here. Increase the buffer time to cancel into supers, so just make it a little bit easier to work with. And hey, after so many years, my friends, the assist. So it ground bounces on hit, meaning you can follow up afterwards. Like, well, you can follow up if you hit directly, like on the frame it hits, but otherwise you can actually use it more like a normal assist. Flagged as head property attack, meaning it has anti-air properties. Increase the hitbox, so this move's usable. It's going to be alright. One of the most, if not the most maligned assist in the history of the game. It's going to get good. Hey. And you know what? Goku Blue, he didn't get too many big buffs, sure, but he's always been one of the secret better characters that no one really talks about. So he's just, I think he's going to do just fine, honestly, just fine. So Blue Vegeta, let's see what he has here. And first up here, just like regular Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta, the down M now has an expanded hitbox upwards, making certain combos a lot easier to work with, especially in the corner. The S attacks here, so this is both stand S and down S. These now have their knockbacks adjusted like many other basic key blasts, and have more hit stun on each of them, making it a lot easier to work with combos. Now let's talk the Dunk series. So first up, before anything else, just universal. Increased slide knockdown time, basically just to work with so you can like pressure and stuff afterwards. Light and mediums version specifically now start up faster than they currently do because they're not particularly quick to begin with. The medium version now has more travel distance, and the medium and heavy versions, here, this guy here, cinematic hit change, the cinematic effect rather has changed on hit, so you can get that vanish sliding knockdowns where you couldn't before. Niagara Pummel, so changed knockback on non-cinematic hit, so if you're using it like in a combo, and increase untech time on non-cinematic hits here. It's specifically mostly for the held version. Increases use case of the button for the held version, and also keep in mind, the held version is one of the few supers in the game that can lead to a double super that doesn't scale, so making it more useful, hey, that's pretty good. The level 5, so when you burn the extra 2 bars after his level 3, change the effect on hit and cannot move until landing. So many other level 5s, they basically have like better Oki situations, like you can do better pressure after the hit, and I'm assuming this is much the same. And finally, his assist, which is the Big Bang attack here, the base assist. Increased damage, decreased damage proration after the initial hit, so combos will do more damage overall. Increased untech, that is hit stun, on the second hit. So basically, it's just better overall. Beerus, so it says here, Stand Light can cancel into Stand Light Light, the second follow-up earlier. It says here, changes to allow combo from down light, even a 5L whiff. So as it stands, this does not combo, but I guess it will in the future, which is actually very interesting. I kind of dig that. The Stand Light Light itself here, the second hit, decreased startup. Once again, talking about the same combo potential. Stand H, this guy here, decreased startup here, so it's just faster overall, more useful in neutral. Down H here. So it says here, moves forward during the beginning of the move, which is weird because he definitely moves backward during it. Increase the hitbox, just make it easier to combo, I guess. That works out just fine. Down S, that is the sneeze here. That puts out one of the energy balls. Can be canceled into itself 3 times, so you can just like chain the stuff here. It doesn't say if it's hit or whiff, but I'm going to assume it's on whiff as well, so you can just fill the screen really quick with stuff. The balls do more damage when hit by Beerus' normals, which is good. So, you know, it's all about making those a lot more useful. And they have larger hitboxes also when hit by Beerus' normals. So just making them more useful. Quarter Circle Forward series, that is summoning the ball and giving it the good kick. It says here the balls do more damage when hit by normals once again here, and they have larger hitboxes when hit by normals once again. Quarter Circle Forward S, that is the all summon. So it says here, once again, more damage when hit by normals, bigger hitboxes when hit by normals. The Quarter Circle Back series, that's the dunks. So it says here, ground bounces on hit. So much more combo potential, especially for stuff like, you know, medium dunk and all that kind of stuff. And also decreases the slide speed of the slide knockdown, making it easier to combo with. Quarter Circle Back Heavy, the heavy EX dunk here. Decreased damage, because once again, it's going to be very spammable, because it only costs half a bar now instead of 2, or rather the whole bar, because all EXs are getting buffed in that way. And ground bounce is higher on a cinematic hit, making it easier to combo with. As for his level 1 super here, it says fixed a bug where the super stayed on screen longer than it should. And his assist. So the damage is up, and this is his base assist, not the new assists that are coming. The damage is up, change knockback, and more hit stun on the move, making just all the better. Goku Black. So the second hit of the auto combo, the boot, now has this initial hitbox higher up here. So it's easy to get on, you know, people you're juggling, that kind of stuff here. Stand S. So change knockback, always knocks the opponent forward, and can be cancelled into Stand H and Down H if you use the up close version. As it currently stands, this cannot be cancelled in those normals. So it just makes like combo, that kind of stuff just a lot easier, and also lets you do more block strings than you otherwise could. Down L says made moves cancelable to down L. My understanding is it just lets you do it twice like other characters, where they just go like down light, that kind of stuff. So also down medium, SC sweep. Decrease startup, so it becomes just faster to use and all that general kind of stuff. Down H, increase untech time on cinematic hit. Basically gives you more time to combo from. So if you're a fancy lad and you want to do stuff like down H into instant transmission and get a combo, it'll be just a little bit easier yet. Jumping quarter circle back medium, that is the dive kicks. So first up here, increase the size of the inner portion of the hitbox. Increase the travel distance, so it'll go further out. Change the travel distance on cinematic hit, so when you get the little camera change cutscene here. And overall, just to make it easier to land on opponents who are directly in the corner. Now, quarter circle back S, that is the command grab here, or the unblockable, whichever you prefer. Made it only usable once per combo, and change the effect on cinematic hit here. Basically, so once again here, as many other things, you can vanish and homing dash, which will be a new addition to Season 3. And then go like LLL and you get a sliding knockdown. Also, his assist, the beam actually is getting a change. So less recovery, just to make it in line with other beam style assists. Android 21, definitely a recipient of some of the more large changes here. So first up here, her quarter circle back series here, that is the D-Dunks. Change the effect on cinematic hit once again here, so you can do it, vanish, cancel your vanish into a homing because it's a new Season 3 thing. Go LLL and you get a sliding knockdown. Quarter circle forward S, that is the command grab. So first up here, decrease the startup on the grounded version, so it'll be faster. As it stands, it's currently one of the slowest command grabs in the game. Increase the untech time, so more hits done. Causes a sliding knockdown, because it doesn't right now. The enemy gets the tech instantly, so you actually be able to get like some pressure afterwards. Increased the damage proration, so if you use it in the combo, you'll do a little bit less damage. And decrease the follow-up window. So follow-ups like the knee stuff, I guess it'll be a little bit quicker yet. Also a buff to one of her stolen moves here. So the stolen move that is the grab here also gets a buff here, causes sliding knockdown as well. Because hey, once again, if we're buffing the regular grabs, and we're also going to buff this grab, sliding knockdown. And also the dive follow-up, because you can do dive follow-up, will track the opponent wherever they are. So just easier combo ability. Quarter circle forward series here, that is her projectiles. So the hitbox is bigger. And this will be much the same when we get to the assist here. Her grounded level 3. So now if you get it, on top of doing all the damage and all that kind of stuff, it'll now fill all 4 of your absorb slots with the character's specific moves. So whatever character you get, so it can use like a purple move and I can do the homing ball afterwards, right? You get every single slot filled, making the ground level 3 a lot more like viable to do, right? Because now you'll be turbocharged and you have 4 stolen moves to work with. Kind of a big deal to say the least. And finally, her assist, once again, the hitbox is bigger. It's a little hard to use in combos sometimes, so I'm very happy with that. Faster startup, and increases the opponent hit stop on hit. So it's better all around. So with the grabs being better across the board, causing sliding knockdowns in both ground and aerial versions, and you having a much more valuable level 3 that you want to do to get your 4 stolen moves, 21, big thumbs up. So for Lord Broly, let's talk about it here. Stand light. Says here, change knockback, just make it easier combo after. This is the case for many characters. Stand H, increase the damage on the held version. So the held version already does more damage, like if we turn on our little damage values here. So stand H, 850, held is 1105. But once again here, across the board, stand heavies and down heavies for all characters are getting buffs. So the held versions are also getting buffed on top of that. Stand S here, increase the lower portion of the initial hitbox. So what does this mean? Well, against crouching characters and small characters, the move basically couldn't hit if you're even a little bit close. Like, there we go. It took that far away to get a hit, right? So the initial stand S will now just come a lot quicker. Or rather, it will just hit a lot lower, that is. Sorry, my bad. And you will be able to use it in block strings and stuff versus it being literally useless in a block string. So, hey, big buff on that front to be sure. Jump down heavy, the old Stomperooski here. So, if you're using it in the combo and that kind of stuff here, increase the sliding knockdown time. Generally speaking, it's kind of hard to get outside the corner and stuff, but you'll have more sliding knockdown time with it. And it says increase the amount of time the opponent is frozen on cinematic hit. So make it easier to continue your offense afterwards. Eraser blow, quarter circle forward S. So same deal as many things here. You do it, you homing dash, or rather you vanish, then you homing dash. You can get sliding knockdown afterwards here. The Lariat series here. It states here, change knockback, including the heavy version, and change the effect on cinematic hit here, making it easier to combo into supers. That one I'm not sure about. because it's already easy to combo into supers. Heck, the EX version goes into his delayed level 3, making it, you know, pretty valuable. Because then, you know, you can DR after, like all this kind of stuff, right? So, and, you know, considering it's going to be half off now, makes the EX layer decrease pretty good. But I guess that's the wait and see on how that one changes out. Quarter Circle Back series, that is the command grab. So it says here, increased travel distance on hit and increased input buffer to cancel on supers. So making it easier to continue offense on hit, made it easier to combo on supers on hit. Hopefully this gets rid of the annoying situation. If you are fighting GT Goku and you do the command grab in the corner, you actually have to heavily delay your level 1 super or it won't connect, which is really weird and I never like that. Hopefully that fixes that. Now also on the aerial grabs here, so in general first here, removed landing recovery on hit, so you can recover faster, and increase the input buffer to cancel on the supers. So same deal here, just easier continue your offense, that kind of stuff here. The medium version specifically, increased sliding knockdown time, and thank you very much for it. Because Broly gets like basically no offense unless you want to get rid of your double jump so you can air dash forward. Hopefully that is reasonable and good. So Quarter Circle Back S, that is the shell. Decreased total duration, but can be done, like it can stack on itself. Decrease the duration, I guess whatever, but it says here made it easier to use in neutral. But if you're decreasing the duration and you have to like constantly re-up it, I don't find that very easy to use, but I guess that's a bit of a nerf. Quarter Circle Forward H and S. That is the quick version of the level 1 super versus the one that starts with the punch upwards. It says here decreased minimum damage, so it made it do less damage to soften the combo, which is a nerf. Generally speaking, mid-screen, if you get like leg grab, it's your pretty much only direct follow-up. So I guess it's a little bit of a nerf to that. His assist, that's the eraser blow. Decreased startup, so it comes out faster. Reflects opponent's ki blast, because remember it's armored, so Broly gets an armored assist. Change the knockback, and increases opponent hit stop on hit. So made changes to distinguish it from B-type assist. So I guess it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not sure what the B-type assist actually is. Vegito. So first up here, down S. That is his grounded energy sword. Change knockback on non-cinematic hit and increase untech time, hit stun, on non-cinematic hit as well. So basically making it easier to use in combos outside of you do the initial hit and get that little like camera change and all that kind of stuff. Jump S. Hey, everyone knows Jump S, right? Increase untech time, more hit stun, so it's just easier to use in combos. Quarter Circle Forward series, that is the sassy kicks here. So decrease damage proration on non-cinematic hit, making it do more overall damage in combos. Quarter Circle Forward medium and heavy specifically here. If the first hit whiffs, the follow-up multi-hits can still cause cinematic. So basically that little blowback after that final kick, if you don't get the first hit to connect here, and you whiff that here, as an example, you get nothing, right? So you can still get the blowback even if your first hit whiffs. Quarter Circle Forward S, that's him shooting the multi-shots here. Increased hitbox, so just the projectiles themselves are better. His level 1 super here, Giant Spirit Sword. So decreased damage at long range, so if you're using it like very far away, but increased damage up close. Increased minimum damage as well. Change knockback on all hits but the last. All hits now cause sliding knockdown, so you can make sure you get a sliding knockdown in the corner if you're doing combo stuff here. Increase the active frames on the last hit, and the last hit will not hit the opponent if they are not below a certain height. So if they're like way the F up there, then I guess you can't catch them anymore. So the change is made to distinguish it from the jumping super, give it a little more variety, a little more razzmatazz, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting changes. Also here, his assist. His assist definitely never been one of the best ones, but it says here, increase untech time, so more hit stun, increase hit stop, increase landing recovery, increase the hitbox, because once again the base version got a hitbox increase as well. Decrease startup, so it starts faster, and change the knockback, so just making it easier to use and better overall to use. Zamasu, first up here, the final hit of the auto combo. Made the throw range taller, so higher hitbox once used in the combo, and added throw damage proration. And basically, once again here, like many other similar auto combo chains, just keep it in line with everyone else. Stand S! Always been a little unfortunate as a basic ki blast here, but you know what? Increase the projectile speed, it'll hit faster. Increase hit stop, increase untech time, more hit stun, change knockback, and a little bit of recovery though. But yeah, just making it easier to use in combos, that kind of stuff here. Jump down heavy, that's this guy here. So decrease startup, so it starts up faster. Change travel distance, I'm assuming more forward. Increase landing recovery. Remove landing recovery on cinematic hit, however. And remove landing recovery when done from a flight. So basically make it easier to combo, made it hit grounded opponents when done immediately after a jump. You can still do it, but it's a little more difficult here. And easier to use for mix-ups, that kind of stuff here. Jumping S is Ki Blast from the air. Change knockback on all hits but the last. Made the initial hitbox taller. So similar to a lot of basic Ki Blasts here. Quarter Circle Forward series, that is the Slicers. So increase travel distance on the grounded version, so it goes further across, I'm assuming all strengths. Increase travel distance on cinematic hit when you get the little camera change. Remove landing recovery on the cinematic hit as well. So increased use cases for the grounded version, making it easier to use continuous offense on a cinematic hit as well. Base form Goku. First up here, air quarter circle form medium, that's the elbow. Says air version wall bounces on cinematic hit, but it already does, so I'm not too sure about that one. The EX version here says increase travel distance downwards on the aerial version, so he'll go a little closer to the ground, more like the medium version, I'm assuming. Quarter circle back series, that is his grabs. So can call assists earlier on hit. Says here, make it easy to combo with assists and that kind of stuff. The medium version specifically, the medium version here, decrease travel distance on hit, change knockback on ground bounce, and increase hit stop. Once again, saying make it easier to combo with an assist here. And for medium and heavy version here, made attacks not land until the follow-up hits on the cinematics. So once again, just kind of making everything easier for combo stuff. Quarter circle back S, that is the charging up the Spirit Ball. So you can now, if you get the Spirit Ball to hit, get a Ultimate Z change. So like when you call character do a level 1 or level 3 super on hit, you could not do that before, I guess, which is an oversight, but now you can. And also less recovery if you actually had the hit. So just a little bit better all around. I guess that's plenty fun. Quarter circle forward S, that is the beam. This is both the grounded and air versions. More damage, less recovery. This is the kind of story with a lot of beams so far, is they just want you to use beams more than you currently do. So just all in all, it's better to use a neutral, that kind of stuff. On this one, I'm still not 100% sure what it does, to be honest with you. I guess we're going to have to wait for the patch here, but it says here, Kamehameha Kaioken stuff here. When you're times 3 or times 20, the follow-ups here can now be followed up, but you already could. So once again, not 100% sure. It just says here, makes it easier to combo into Z changes. I guess we'll have to see, or maybe if you're a base Goku player, please enlighten me. I'm just not too sure about it. Also, as for the assist, change knockback type. Hopefully not for the worst, because it's pretty good as it stands. And increase the hit stop on hit. It does state, though, however, make it easier to combo with. For base form Vegeta, the final hit of the auto combo now actually has air invulnerability, the head property. So it's basically an anti-air like a down heavy is. So I guess there's some value to that. It's a little Shoryuken, I guess. So if you want to stop a jumping with a very convoluted auto combo, hey, I guess now you can. Stand S here, change knockback. This one's again very similar to everyone else here, just apparently making it easier to use as follow-up. Down M, as with all Vegetas, all their down M's are hitting up a little bit higher now, making it a lot easier for corner combos and stuff here. Jump S, it says here, can alter the Ki Blast trajectory by inputting hold up. So I was worried this might have been a nerf, because this is legit one of the best aspects of the character, is his incredibly aggressive jump Ki Blast. But apparently if you hold up while you're doing it, then you can get a different angle. So hey, that's pretty neat. Quarter circle forward LM, that is his rush kicks. It states here, when the ground version is cancelled, he keeps his air option. So once again, we talked about earlier, for the other Vegeta, like you can still double dash, dash in the air, that is, double jump, there we go, and that kind of stuff. So you're just keeping air mobility. The EX version, it says here, becomes invulnerable earlier, and change to be in line with other moves that become invulnerable in the same way. Quarter circle back L, that is the teleport into the knee dunk here. So it says increase the sliding knockdown time on the cinematic hit when it has a little camera change, so just more time to pressure afterwards. And also here, the medium version, ground bounces on cinematic hit. So you can do it, call an assist, and like catch the bounce and just go from there, right? So just making it better all around. 214S, that's the upchuck here, this guy. So increase the throw range. Increase the active frames. Untech time is unaffected by hit stun scaling. So you can do a super long combo and they're still in the exact same amount of hit stun no matter what. Increased untech time on the cinematic hit, so more hit stun yet as well. And increased recovery on hit. Basically, you just get more options off this now, right? You can work with it in a lot of different ways. Also, his supers. His supers, if you do the upchuck first, they actually get a damage buff. So you are very incentivized to chuck the dude, then go for your level 1 or level 3, as you will get more damage for doing it. Pretty cool, and I actually really like that change a lot. As for the assist comes out faster, has more hit stun, and says the knockback is a little bit different here. So just making it easier to combo. Many assists are just better. Because, you know, assists are a big deal, and it's good that the lesser used assists are just getting better for it. Cooler, hey, not too much has changed, but you know what? Cooler was already in a really good spot. As, you know, I made a video, I think he's the best character in the game nobody talks about, and really he was just mostly avoided because of the whole being tall and fuzzy stuff, and that's gone. So hey, is this the age of Cooler? I guess we'll find out. First up though, Stand S, it says here, increase the opponent hit stop on hit, increase untech time, more hit stun, and change the knockback like many other key blasts, so it's just easier to use all around. Forward H, that is his stomping low. So made the hitbox for it taller, so it's easier to hit a little higher up, which is really good for his corner combo structure actually. It'll make life a lot easier on that front. Always knocks the enemy forward, and yeah, that's just about it. But yeah, it'll make corner combos a lot easier. His level 3, basically just fixed a bug where meter cooldown wouldn't happen when the ground version whiffed. But that's about it for the level 3. And finally, his assist, the stock assist, not one of the new assists, stock assist here, the knee. Increased untech time, once again meaning it'll always have better hit stun when it connects. And increase a little bit of landing recovery. But overall, just making it easier to combo with. It was already a good assist, and now it's just a little bit better. Android 17, first up here. Stand Light, change knockback, just a little easier to combo with. Stand Light, second hit of the auto combo. Decrease startup, so it comes out faster. Change the travel distance and character position, so I'm assuming maybe it moves forward a little bit more. Increase the hitbox and change knockback. So it says here, makes it so 5 LL combos actually connect from 2, so I can do like this. And that'll actually be a natural combo, versus right now it definitely is not. So similar to Beerus earlier on. And the final hit of the auto combo, this guy here, says here, change character position, although it doesn't state really what way. Increase hurt box, decrease hurt box, so hits bigger, can get hit less. Made pushbacks taller in the first half of the move, and added invulnerability against low, so it actually will kind of low crush. So if you're going like mashing down light, you can actually hop over it. Once again, a little edge case, but still, hey, that's pretty cool. Down medium, so classic sweep here, faster startup here, decreased startup, so it comes out quicker. Increased hitbox, so it's just easier and better. Stand S, change knockback on all hits but last, very similar to other characters. Down L, change knockback, so once again here, same deal, just that comes a natural combo, that kind of stuff here. Jumping S, decreased startup, so it comes out quicker. Change travel distance, I'm assuming a little bit forward, hopefully. Increase untech time, so more hit stun. Increase opponent's hit stop on hit, and change the knockback, so it's just easier to make it easier combos. So the Rekka series, H and S, which is the barrier, states here, increase the active frames, increase the recovery, so it'll be a little slower recovery, and can only be cancelled into on hit. If that's what I think it means, I think that means the barrier OS is dead, because you don't use that on hit necessarily, you use that on block, right? I'm not sure, I'm not really a 17 player, so you guys let me know on that one. States here, change the move to account for EX moves costing less now, and also change the regular version to reflect the changes to the EX version. The Rekka into the EX version can absorb hits from level 1 and level 3 supers now. So it can actually kind of deal with supers. So that's interesting. That's different. Quarter circle forward and quarter circle back S. It's the weird old wall bounces. So you can now do an aerial version after a grounded version, so you can basically double wall jump. Less recovery on your landing, pushback appears later, and can be cancelled into earlier, so it's just basically better at all fronts. As for his assist, more active frames, I'm assuming that's on the hit part, more hit stun, more untech time, reduce the opponent's hit stop on hit, so I guess it's a little less hit stop, so it'll be a little more difficult to confirm from. Change knockback, and wall bounces on hit, which actually, that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, just better all around. So yeah, 17 basically seems better. Once again, not a 17 player, but that might be the death of the Barrier OS. I'm not too sure. You tell me. Jiren, a man who desperately needed buffs. Let's see what he got. First up here, Stand Light. Increase the lower portion of the hitbox, so it's easier to hit on small people, which is good. Small people shouldn't get an advantage like that. Stand S. That's his very unique Ki Blast, which is halfway between a Ki Blast and a beam. So it does have faster start up here. Increase the opponent's hit stop on hit, so easier to visually hit confirm. Decrease the untech time, so it's less hit stun, however. And increase the recovery, so it'll come out faster. It's easier to use as a beam, but less so much like a combo potential kind of thing. Down S, this guy here. So increase the damage on cinematic hit. So it's basically like stand H's and Jiren's a little different here, but you know what I mean. Normal stand H's, normal down H's all got the damage buff. So his 2S is getting a damage buff to compensate because it kind of takes the place of that. Jump to H. That's his old crazy spin to win. So decrease startup, which means it's faster. Made the initial hitbox taller, so it hits a little higher up. Made the hitbox come out even when done at minimum height, because if you do it like so low to the ground, sometimes it can't hit. Made the attack come out as soon as you release the button hold. Increase the sliding knockdown time, so they are in sliding knockdown for longer if you use it in the middle of a combo, which is good. He needs it. Change the timing for calling Z assist when the move causes cinematic hit. And increase the damage on the button hold version. So if you do want to, like, you know, just let it rock, you'll get a little bit more damage. So overall, the move is just better across the board. The quarter circle forward series here, that is the old eyeball lasers. So increase hit stop, so more visual time to confirm. Decreased damage proration on non-cinematic hit. So basically, when it's using combos, it'll do more damage for the most part here. And we got a little bug fix. But yeah, it just makes it better for combos, that kind of stuff. Quarter circle back series, that is the counters. So generally across the board, they all do more damage. Change the effect on cinematic hit. So if you do it and you get the cinematic here, I guess something else will change about that. States here made it easier to distinguish on successful counter. Also if you counter, then you vanish combo, all that kind of stuff. You get a sliding knockdown afterwards. The light version and medium version specifically, more meter. Hey, more meter is not bad, right? The light version also gets lows. So the light version gets everything now, just like the X version does, right? The medium version is now much quicker, apparently. And quarter circle back S, that is the big boy counter, projectile counter. It says, can now counter assists. So I guess you'll teleport to them? It says here, change the effect on cinematic hit. And yeah, just working with it. However, since it doesn't say it's any faster, you can still vanish out of it probably, which kind of sucks. But catching assist, that's very interesting. I dig that. I hope he's invincible while he's doing it, because Lord knows if you catch that Vegeta assist or something and then guy bops in the head for it, that's not very fun and cool. Now, as for his assist, so it says here, position change based on distance to the opponent. So perhaps he'll be just kind of closer in general. Change knockback, increase untech time, more hit stun. Increase startup, so it's actually going to come out a little slower. That's weird. But it says made it easier to use, keep it in line with other assists. So Videl, another character that could definitely use some buffs. Let's see what Videl got. First up here says anything with the Great Saiyaman. So decrease cooldown time between another Great Saiyaman attack. So you can call Saiyaman in between Saiyaman calls quicker than you could before. A little less lag recovery on that. Stand Light says here increase the travel distance. Other one canceled into itself. So I'm just assuming the hitbox is further out. That's some weird wording on it. Jumping down S. That's when you call Saiyaman. He does the big old stomp. Increases the sliding knockdown time. Hey, that's definitely a buff. 6H. That's the Justice combination here. Is invulnerable to basic Ki Blast. So it's like cooler. Like Broly. Like other big characters that can just shake that stuff off. Well, I guess that makes Videl a large lass, because that is a big boy trait normally. Yeah, so she can just go past Ki Blast. Probably not beams, just basic Ki Blast, but still, that's something. Quarter circle forward heavy. That is the big rush kick here. Increase the travel distance. And increase travel distance, I'm going to assume you got to make it like near full screen, right? But, you know, make it a little more useful, a little more worthwhile to spend the bar on. The down series, that's kind of the float over cross-ups here. So it states here, change the knockback on cinematic hit, and also decrease damage proration when used as a follow-up from quarter circle forwards. So basically, more damage, a little bit better to use. Quarter circle back medium, that's the Frankensteiner here. Increase the sliding knockdown time on the Great Saiyan attack. So you just have more sliding knockdown time, just easier and better to use once again. Her counter super, where she calls Saiyan to get the buff, happens on frame 1 now, making it infinitely more useful than it was before. It is a true reversal, and if the person overmashes, then you got him. And once again, since it's frame 1, that means you are not allowed to safe jump against it, similar to Cooler's level 3. I guess she's getting a lot from Cooler, eh? Now that I think about it. But yeah, so you can't safe jump a move that starts on frame 1. So if you try to safe jump her and she does this, you're gonna get got. So this makes it way, way more useful. Also, as for her assist, and once again, this is her base assist, not the 2 new ones we're getting. It says here, decrease startup, so it comes out faster than it normally does. Increase the opponent's hit stop on hit. Reduce travel distance, so it doesn't go quite as far. But overall, making it come out faster, hey, that's definitely a buff in my books. Janemba. So first up here, down light is not low. I'm sorry. Not yet. Maybe in the future. But first here, stand S. Decrease startup outside of combos. So if you're not using it in a combo, it actually comes out quicker. Hey, that's a buff. 2S. Very similar style, just, different alternate take on it here. Once again, decrease startup outside of combos. In the combos, it's the same as it was before. Now Jump S. Hey, thought maybe you heard this one. Decrease startup outside of combos, just making the stuff faster and better across the board. The quarter circle forward series, that is the sword slashes, which were always kind of pretty good anyways. Decreased recovery, so he recovers quicker than he used to. If you use the air version, he falls to the ground faster, once again recovering quicker. And change recovery on a cinematic, like that kind of hit here where the camera changes. So yeah, just a little more usable. I like it, I dig it here. The teleports, obviously a big factor of what Janemba is here. It says here, even if the opponent is in the air and in the corner, Janemba will teleport to the corner when teleporting from the air to the ground. This changes to make it more clear when Janemba takes the corner. So it's not any faster, just a little more of a readability issue, if you will. The Hellgate, that's that guy there. The projectile bounces off the corner, because here's the deal. So when it hits the corner, it just explodes by itself. Normally, you are supposed to have control over when it explodes, right? You have the say over when it detonates, but when it hits the corner, it's taken away from you, right? So if it bounces off, then it'll go back and you can still choose to detonate right away. So you basically have more of an option to work with. Also, the projectile itself travels faster. And also it says here, increases the amount of time before the attack automatically goes off here. So it can just float and sit longer than it currently does. Because after a while, it'll just go off, right? But you are basically now more in control of the move than you ever were before. The grabs here, quarter circle, medium, and heavy. Like many other moves, if you vanish afterwards and then homing dash cancel your vanish, because that's the thing in Season 3, you can get a sliding knockdown afterwards. And finally, the assist. His basic assist here says decrease startup, once again, comes out faster. Increase the number of attacks, so I guess you're going to get more than 2 hits. Change the single hit damage, increased overall damage, so just, once again, just making a better assist to work with. So for Gogeta, first up here, Jump H. And now comes out quicker than it used to, so definitely going to help out with combo ability. Might be able to sneak it into places you couldn't before. Jump down H, if you get the cinematic here, if you use a more combo, it'll do more damage yet. Quarter circle back and L, that is the light version of the uppercut here. It says here, increase the window where the move cannot clash. So basically a lot more, or rather a lot less situations where it can clash and then the opponent can do something else, block, vanish, whatever. Just less situations where you can get out of it and get out scot-free. Quarter circle back S, that is his unblockable / command grab. It says here, change the effect on cinematic hit, because once again, like many other moves, you do it, get your vanish. You can now homing dash right after a vanish, and then get a sliding knockdown after the fact. His grounded level 1 super made it not do less damage when you're cornered. It was an annoying little side effect, a little bit of a bug, I guess. So now it does the same damage no matter where you are on the screen. And his jumping level 1 here says here, increase the hit stop on hit. This changes to make it harder for the number of hits to decrease based on your position. So you make sure you get all of your hits. So not much for Gogeta, but honestly Gogeta I always found was a very complete character. Just mostly the fact, the old fuzzy overhead thing is why people kind of slept on him. And now that's gone, the big characters are free to do what they want. I think he'll do just fine. And finally, our final character. Lord, I have no idea how long this video is going to be when I edit it together. But our last character, Dragon Ball Super Broly. So first up here, Down Light is getting buffed. It's kind of crazy. So for first up here, increase travel distance so it moves further forward. Increase the hitbox, which is crazy because it has a huge hitbox. Increased the hurt box, which is kind of whatever. It says here, made it easier to use in neutral and combos. It's his fastest move. It hits up stupid high up and makes certain combos and setups possible other characters simply can't do. And now it's just better. So hey, that's definitely a buff. Stand H. So once again, if you're skipping ahead using timestamps or whatever, all stand H's, all down H's are getting down damage buffs across the board. And on top of that, any ones that you can hold is also getting an additional damage buff on top of it. So he gets the damage buff on that shoulder. Quarter circle forward series, that's the dunks. So change the effect on cinematic hit once again here. So if you hit it, do a vanish. Homie dash after the vanish because you can do that now. You'll get a sliding knockdown after the fact. Same here with the air grabs. And finally, his assist. So decrease startup, so it comes out quicker, which is good. Change the knockback style here. It says change to distinguish his Z assist from his B type, which I'm not sure what it is just yet. But yeah, not too much once again. Gogeta and Broly, the two most recent characters. So I guess they're pretty happy where they are right now. And my friends, I guess that's the end of the video. I've been on this all day and then some. I don't even know how long this is going to be, but hey, if you tuned in this long, thank you very much for watching. I certainly appreciate it. When the actual patch comes out, expect stuff like all the assists being covered, all the new assists. Expect a visual guide, because while we have the patch notes, some things are still a little unclear. So we'll have a visual guide showcasing all the big changes of the game and more. So stay tuned for all that. And for now, my friends, I guess that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.